estate, because they haven't started to write off commercial loans yet. And when that happens, you're going to see a lot of these buildings go back to like it was in the 80s and early 90s. What am I doing in China? I'm in two areas, one of which is water purification. China's got the biggest dirty water problem on the planet, and they say that by the year 2020 or 2025, their water is going to be one of the cleanest. Well, if that's true, and they follow their 11th five-year plan, and if you had invested money in the 11th in the first the last 4 or 5 five-year plans in China, you'd be richer than Warren Buffett, because they put their money where their mouth is. So we're looking at that, and we're also looking at internet education, because they've got about 500 million people that they want to educate in China, and the only way they can do it economically is on the internet. In fact, my youngest son is there, recently anointed with an MBA, and he's been there, and he's learning Chinese at Shanghai University, and so we should be looking hopefully to make some investments later this year, early next year. Let's see, I like healthcare. Okay, do I still like healthcare and telecom? The answer is yes. I told a mentee of mine, the founder of healthcare, the big healthcare company, Rick Scott, 25 years ago, healthcare and telecommunication was the future. I still say that. Telecommunication, of course, now encompasses the internet. So, and the internet is not going away. It's not going away. I've only watched your one-day seminar. Well done, thank you. One-day seminar. What's present the next? What's going to be in their next five-year plan? Chinese five-year plan. Well, I'm not positive, but I met with a deputy ambassador for China to the Philippines. I was at a dinner with him. I was lucky enough to sit next to him. In fact, I'm going to have dinner with him when I get back. And he said the internet education and water were two of the principal areas. But another area is paint, because the Chinese government has made an edict that all buildings are going to get painted in the next 20 or 30 years. So paint, finishing of buildings, etc. like that, that's another great area. Bjorn from the Council Seminar, hi Bjorn, another real estate guy. I might have mentioned in my last newsletter, we had 5 Germans, that's 5 Germans at the Council Seminar. And when I'd walk in from a break or after lunch or in the morning, it sounded like a World War II German war room, because they're all speaking German back and forth. And it was a lot of fun, and they're doing very, very well. And we had a lot of different personalities, from a fast-talking lawyer to a quiet, shy kind of guy, and the quiet, shy kind of guy knows who I'm talking about. But they're all making great progress, and I'm very proud of them, all of them, and that's what really led me to do this live webcast, because I never thought I'd do it. And I'm sure Ed Taylor, who started with me back in 1993, 94, probably is the most surprised of anybody, because I only got on the internet with my first email in April of 2001. So, and I still remember calling my daughter and asking her, what do I do now that I've turned it on? Let's see, JC, can you please hit a few life-threatening activities to expand comfort zone? Well, as some people know, back in the late 80s, I used to do safari hunting and jumping out of planes, skydiving and stuff like that. But you don't need to spend that kind of money to do life-threatening things to expand your comfort zone. Some guys, it's just, you know, making a financial presentation, going into your boss. We expanded our comfort zone when we're young, asking somebody out on our first date, you know, our first kiss, our first act, sex act. Not many of us were too prepared for that, myself included. Of course, some of you, I read your names, I'm not going to embarrass you by saying you pretend that you were sophisticated from the first time you went to sleep with somebody, but I'm not going to talk about that too much. Yes, Tim, Ed is the guy that helped me with my first direct mail piece. But it wasn't his fault, the one that I sent out 250,000 people with no return address and no phone number. That's not his fault, that's my fault. I take that on my own shoulders. Ed's smarter than that. Ed lives up in in Oregon, not near Oregon, and he's been up there, I don't know, 10, 15 years, and he runs a successful internet business. Do I know Bodo Schaefer? Yes, I was Bodo's mentor. And in fact, he sent a number of the Germans to my last Council seminar and still talks very highly of me. I don't always talk as highly of him but he's a very bright guy, one of the smartest guys ever to come through the Castle Seminar. And as he says, I helped him by firing him back in 1996, 97, and he's gone on to be, a guru in Germany. He's a smart guy. Okay, Ed, you live in Ashland, Oregon. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, Portland and Ashland is all the same to me. Apart from China, how do you judge business opportunities in the Middle East? Well, I was fortunate that I didn't go to Dubai like a lot of guys, but I think Dubai is going to be another buying opportunity because they've lost so much money recently. The property boom, property prices have collapsed. People are just leaving cars at airports now, and so that would be one to study over the next 1 or 2 years. Let's see, I have started building pharmaceutical software. Is it worth growing my startup business before looking to grow via acquisitions? Well, it depends how big your startup is, but it's never too early to make an acquisition. And it's good practice. So I'd say start looking at them now. And consolidate. Yeah. The pharmaceuticals is another big, it's part of healthcare, the pharma business. So, I mean, you can't go wrong there. See, Dan Impaler here. Impaler from Transylvania. Are you at a terrace in Monte Carlo? What do you think? I'm floating in the air like Jesus? Yes, I'm on a terrace in Monte Carlo, and those are the big boats out back. And I'm surprised I don't see your boat there, Impaler. He's the guy, the picture that looks like the Impaler. Which one's the Impaler? Is it the guy from Madame Tussauds Wax Museum or the guy standing next to him? Jeannie Peters, great lady, my nutritionist from Los Angeles, world-class nutritionist. Married to a world-class doc named Alan Peters. Even though he went to Berkeley and SC, I still love them both. Why did I get off the topic and start talking about my sex life? You must have joined late. I was talking about comfort zone, Jeannie. Of course, I don't think, anyway, I don't want to talk about your sex life. I don't know anything about it anyway. Will your newsletter continue to be free? Yeah, at this juncture, it'll continue to be free. And as you know, I'm writing it more often now. And partially because I've got a little more time. I'm taking a little more time off. I don't work every single day, 10, 12 hours a day. I still do some work every day, but I'm taking more time off. In fact, if you'll read my newsletter, or not my newsletter, my website, you'll see that my schedule is pretty hectic for the next 3 or 4 months, partially to coincide with my birthday that's coming up in a few weeks. I'm going to South America. Will Dubai default on their debt? I don't think so. I think they're going to pay. They have too much at stake to default. Mike Manu here. We last had drinks in the South Bay in '97. Tom Winkler. Oh, how are you, Mike? Nice to hear from you. What are the basic rules to earn a lot of money? Well, the basic rules are, and I find it interesting. Donald Trump's daughter, 28, 29-year-old girl, bright girl. Came out with a book about making money, and she starts it by saying, I've lived a privileged life, which is an understatement, but she said, and some of the secrets, and they're not secrets: get to work early, be the first there, be the last one to leave, try not to ask dumb questions, don't be afraid of making a mistake, and work harder than anybody else in the office, which should sound familiar to all of you. Dan, you don't have the answer to all questions. I don't have to answer all questions, so somebody's telling me that. Well, I'm trying to answer as many as I can. Let's see. Somebody's giving me a suggestion. If I have a topic, just go ahead. Well, I do have a topic, and it's about deal flow in a bad environment. And I talked about it in the last seminar, and I talked about it in the last couple of newsletters. People get afraid to go out and do what they've learned, either through reading my book or through their own common sense. And you've got to go out and not be afraid. And I know that's easy to say, and I know most people don't think that I've ever been afraid, but believe me, I used to be. And before I would go in to make a presentation, I used to jump up and down in the elevator to get my blood running. And I used to wipe my palms on my suit or my pant legs so they wouldn't perspire when I shook hands with somebody. So I've been there, and when I talk about these things to you guys, I know what I'm talking about. But I mean, you need to give more presentations for deal flow. And networking now on the internet makes it easier, but I still believe in face-to-face contact. But I mean, you can get deal flow from the internet. But what you have to learn how to do is differentiate the BS from reality. And there's a lot of BS on the internet now. A lot of BS.